is not meant to instigate anything. This is no any kind of beef. But
do you know much about this? Yes, actually, yeah. He featured on the old version of the show.
Right, okay, cool.
So
well, hopefully we'll get him in here.
Shout out to Ransom Bands if you're listening. So basically, I don't know if you know much about the story. So basically, there was a football match between AFTVFC and the United Stand football team, and it was for a series that was running called Blood Brothers, and there was I think DT wanted this rivalry between him and Mark Goldbridge, a member of United Stand. Yeah. He was kind of fueling this. He really wanted it to be a big feature. And it turns out he just got turned inside out, essentially. He took out Mark Goldbridge and Ransom Bants. This was on the pitch, and Rance came over, got him in a headlock. Now, from what was said, like we can't hear the audio, but from what was said, DT was saying, "Oh, like my neck." So Rance let him go. DT saying, "Oh, I got out of the headlock." But anyway, so now DT's got out of the headlock and goes straight back round to Goldbridge rather than facing up to the big guy that's just effed him up. So that started between Rance and DT there and then. DT then later decided that he wanted to fight Rance, but his medical condition, he's got some medical condition that means he can't fight. So his son stepped up. So his son, I believe, is 19.
Okay, all right.
They would call themselves a gypsy family, so they can fight. They know how to fight. He's been boxing since he was like 4 or 5, something like that. So it's got the potential to be a good fight.
Yo, Rance, are you up for this one?
I mean, yeah. So by the time this goes out, the fight will probably have happened. To be honest, probably. But
for me, from a personal perspective, I think obviously there's so many of these celebrity bouts that I would only do it if I was in a ring with some 16-ounce padded gloves, which are not gonna really, and with a head guard on. Cause I'm not looking to just go and fight anybody just because I think, meet me at the back of Greg's and Peck. I'm not doing that.
Well, to be fair, this is legit, man. They're going to the O2. Well, they're going to the Indigo at the O2.
Really?
Yeah, man. They've got all everything set up. It's proper deep, man. It's proper deep, and they're raising. What I would say about this whole thing, I don't really know how I feel about the actual fight, but what is definitely good about it, they're raising money for the charity Mind, mental health charity that I'm very close to.
Like they both have mental health to fight. I just don't think it's the smartest idea. But if they're raising money, that's the whole reason behind it, or whatever it may be. But if it's just because they're just having a beef because of some social media battle or social media click for likes nonsense, allow it.
Yeah. See, I kind of think that like you need a hustle, and if you can make money from something and it's like not morally abhorrent, like don't take advantage of people, then I think there's always an argument to go and do it, go and get paid, man.
Yeah, but there are loads of ways you could make money.
Yeah, no, of course. But the thing is, like, by now, there's a trend set within YouTube that if you have a dispute with somebody, you get into a boxing ring. I mean, KSI has had a few. KSI and Joe Weller, KSI and Logan Paul, his brother Deji against Jake Paul. These have all been, like, high-profile fights. And it's been...
Amateurs. Complete novices and amateurs.
Yeah. I mean, they train in advance of the fight, but they're not boxers.
I think the latest one I heard was Jesse Lingard said something about punching Piers Morgan in the face.
Oh, I'd like to see that. To be fair, I wouldn't mind that.
I actually don't know, for some reason I actually really do want to see Jesse Lingard and Piers Morgan.
No, look, I mean,
I'll pay money for that. I'm
not a particular fan of Jesse Lingard, but as a fellow Arsenal fan, I cannot stand Piers Morgan. He rubs me up the wrong way entirely. Today I'm going to be talking about an album that was released last week by Kate Tempest. It's called The Book of Traps and Lessons. And anyone who's familiar with Kate Tempest, spoken word poet, she talks about some harsh topics. She talks about some harsh topics like the political situation currently going on, the world as a whole, as well as us as individuals, and what we can do for ourselves. So this new album, Book of Traps and Lessons, it is it kind of goes along those themes, and she talks a lot about integrity, and I wanted to focus on two tracks in particular, two pieces, almost like the title pieces. There's one called I Trap You, and it's almost a sense. So she prefaces it by saying, I said I love you. I should have said I trap you. And the whole theme of it is, do we ever love for other people, for the other person, or do we love for ourselves? And what I took from it was, like, you know that feeling when you fall in love, and it kind of just changes your perspective on things, and it almost changes who you are as a person. Would we ever pursue an endeavor such as trying to be in love if we didn't get that for ourselves? Like, if it were truly a selfless thing, would we even bother? Because we're not really getting anything out of it. And it's
I was even going to say I like that topic, because someone said to me, but I'll let you continue. One time, let me say it very quickly. Falling in love is not about receiving the love in return. It's about experiencing the other person. I think that's what it is. You literally fall in love with the other person to experience who they are as they are without trying to change them. And that's what love really is about. I think if you're going into it expecting that person to love you back just as hard, you're missing the point. Because that's not a connection. That is a trade deal. That is a formal negotiation of a contract. You know, that's not what love is about. Love is literally, I love this person. Think about it. I love this person without anything else added to it. You just want to experience that person in their full natural glory, their full identity, and then let's leave it at that. Nothing else.
I mean, that's sort of kind of what she goes on to say, really, and it's just like,
you need to hear this track then.
Yeah, no, it's a good track. I think it's it's just about the dynamics between two people, and are we ever actually equal between two of us in a partnership? The other one that I wanted to talk about is called Lessons, which is much more of a political statement, and it just kind of talks about the mistakes that we've all made through history in terms of governments, individuals, whatever it might be, and we're supposed to learn from our mistakes, and yet we always use the phrase history repeats itself. So how can those two things be together, really, if we're obviously not learning from the mistakes that we're making? If you talk about nations as a whole, and she discusses the idea of freedom, and that we have this perception of freedom that is sold to us as our own particular society, and that the reason we have this freedom, supposedly, that the reason that's fed to us is because of what we're doing to other people. We have to keep on oppressing other regimes to uphold our own. And as long as we have faith in our own idea of what freedom is, we'll fight for that, and we'll back our government or our society, as it were. And it's only recently that people have started to kind of clock on and realise that no, we're not necessarily the good guys. And I mean, not recently, but there's always that sense of national pride in that, because it's not happening to us, it's either not happening or it's over there, so it's not that bad. And obviously, again, with the rise of social media, this is the positive aspect of social media. A lot more things have been brought to our attention that wouldn't have been otherwise. So yeah, I think
you're going to notice things going on reported.
Yeah, and it's not the fact that the world is becoming a more hostile place. It's the fact that the hostilities that are going on are being reported. It's always been the way it is. It's just now we can see it with our own eyes, no matter where we are in the world. So yeah, that's sort of a general theme of the whole album anyway. That sort of political vibe. So yeah, the Book of Traps and Lessons. If you can go and listen to it if you fancy it, and yeah. Baller of the week. Wrap it up to our final section. This will probably be fairly quick. Baller of the week. If you're a regular listener, you'll be familiar with this segment. We're basically just going to see who has had a good week, and we're going to nominate our two nominees, I guess. And producer Mr. Crisp is going to decide who he thinks deserves to be Baller of the Week. So
they better be good.
Okay.
The standard is high.
I'm going to put this out right now. I've got this.
You got it?
I've got this.
Oh. So it's the first time between the two of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be 1-0 to JR. Just put it out there.
Big talk.
So throw it over to Ken. What have you got?
I thought you were about to drop. You're going to give me one first. Okay.
He's just that confident.
Man.
He's just balling now. He's just balling now.
My two are
pick one. You want to go two?
Okay, no. I've got one. But it was a toss up between two people who I'm feeling really quite strongly. So one is international, one is UK based. The UK based one is Kojo, and he is the comedian that was got to the BGT final. And my international guy is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I'm feeling The Rock Johnson. Not a shout out to the whole ballers thing, but it still Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But I'm going to give it to The Rock simply because I find him very inspirational. I know it sounds a little bit cliche that I'm saying The Rock, but the reason is, as much as this guy is the international superstar, he's The Rock, he has the eyebrow, does everything that he does, the television shows and so forth, there's an almost certain genuineness I find about The Rock. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I find most of these, celebrities, I found them so supremely fake in what they're doing, but it's the way he gives back to his fans. Like, they're filming the series 5, I think, or season 5 of Ballers. But even during the filming, he still takes time to do personal messages to the fans who love the show. So he will stop in the middle of an entire recording, go onto his Instagram live or go onto his Instagram, and he will film. He will shout out to a fan, and he will literally walk them through. So it could be someone in a hospice, or someone who's a cancer survivor, or a child that never left the country, and he will literally introduce this person to the entire cast. He gives back. He's really genuinely a good guy, and that's the thing. There are not many superstars out there who are just genuine. You can tell they're just good people. He's married. He's got 3 kids. I'm sure he's got so much business and so many things to do.
He's a busy man.
Busy man. But to actually take the time out, I know lots of other celebrities are saying they do what they do. That's fine. But with him, he's genuine about it. He talks about his heritage, but he talks about his fans, how much he loves them. And to me, he's serious. He's 100% genuine. So he's a baller. I mean, yes, he's a baller. Guy making paper. But at the same time, the man's a real man.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. All right.
Shout out to him.
You might notice I don't sound quite as confident anymore. No, so I have been watching quite a lot of the Women's World Cup recently. So I am going to nominate...
I have a question.
Go on.
Were you one of those guys when the World Cup was mentioned? So, are you going to watch the Women's World Cup? Did you go, Did you make that noise?
No, I didn't. And that is actually going to be part of what I'm about to say. So thank you very much, Carl. So yeah, my nominees for the Baller of the Week are England's Lionesses and Phil Neville. They've achieved 100% record in the group stages for the first time in history. Their performances haven't been outstanding. They've had some very good moments in games, some very good movements and stuff like that. But what I really want to mention is, as you said, the public reaction. This year more than